Don't wait for tomorrow. Live for today. Keep chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to JK's Deal Reveal. Tonight, we have an exciting one for you with our very own Vincent from the community, who is going to come and share his deal with you. So, hope you are having a wonderful week, an epic week. It has been on fire in JK headquarters this week. We're having so much fun, so many big things are happening. As some of you have been following us with the big RRSP, we're going to bring that to a whole other level by the end of this year. So stay with us. It is not stopping here. So let us get started. David, let's make sure that you've got your panelist accesses. So unmute yourself, get that camera on, just like me. In fact, is my camera on? It is. Wonderful. So let's make sure that we have full technology on our side. Can you hear me, and can we hear you?
I can hear you.
I'm hearing typing. Good. And
I can hear you. I can't activate the video.
okay, so let's get that. So we have actually David on the line as well as Vincent. So let's make sure everyone has what they need. Let's try turning on cameras now. Ha! There they are. The brothers from different mothers. David and Vincent in the house. Wonderful. Excellent. So just before we jump into your deal, I am going to, for the people who are here for the very first time, give them a little idea of what this deal reveal is all about. This is really an opportunity to show you that we can get really excited. And it's not rocket science to invest in US real estate, but there's a lot of reasons why you may want to consider it seriously as part of your investing portfolio. So we want to show you how you can look at deals lightning fast, get a good sense of what's happening in a matter of minutes, and break that analysis paralysis. So many of you are blues in the house, potentially. I know I was. I'm a recovering blue personality, meaning I'm very, very analytical. And the gentlemen in front of us this evening as well are quite analytical. And it's easy for this type of personality to look at the numbers, look at the numbers, look at the numbers, and then whoops, the deal's gone. Someone else who wasn't looking so intensely up front scooped it up. And so coming from my experience background, if we're able to lightning fast get a good sense of what's happening, jump in, crunch the full-blown numbers once it's locked up, you're going to have a much better chance of securing the deal, just like David and Vincent did. So analyze deals super quick. We are looking at deals which potentially have a huge cash flow. We're talking multiple times higher than what we might be able to see in Canada. So that could be very exciting for real estate investors who are looking for cash flow, actually, not something that's only going to pay them in 25 years. And so we believe that this is the time right now, especially since we've helped unlock RRSPs. There's so many other reasons, short-term rentals and everything, all the flexibility and all the different types of niche investing we can do in the US. We believe it is the time and the place to invest. So today's deal is David and Vincent's, and we're going to go on the moon or in the valley. Anyways, we're going to Moon Valley Drive in Davenport, Florida. And listen, I'm going to let you boys talk to share with the community here. Where are we in the deal? How did it come to be where we are in the deal? And are you excited? Let's start there. So maybe a little bit about you as we get started, and then we'll jump into wherever you want to bring it.
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Vince. The other guy down there is David. We took Kyle's course back in October, and we were kind of just throwing into everything. And at first, we were kind of looking at the Cleveland area, Cleveland and the Columbus area, based on our research. But then, this whole Orlando and short-term rentals came up, and based on that, I mean, exciting area, huge potential in terms of income, much more from a per unit basis than in Cleveland and Columbus. But those markets are great still for what they are. There's still lots of money to be made there, but for us, we kind of wanted to jump into something exciting. I've got 2 daughters, so it's something that we really wanted to be able to put in place for our families to enjoy, my daughters to enjoy, etc. So Dave, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, I am Vince's brother-in-law. So he's married to my sister, and I have the 2 nieces as well. Just also wanted to give a shout out to Janie and Kyle for putting together. It was the Florida bus tour in February that I went down there just to see what the market was all about. See what was there. It was so much warmer than Canada at the time, so it sounded like a good thing to do, and I guess that's where it all started. We met in the community that we ended up buying the property in Champions Gate, and it was cool. Down in Florida, there are a lot of these communities that are built intentionally around the Disney, Universal, Epcot area, designed for short-term rentals, because there is a pretty big demand for, there's just lots and lots of visitors. And as I'm understanding the numbers, because I'm that blue analytical guy who wants to know that this is a good investment, what the research that we were shown a little bit of, but also you should do your own diligence, was there's a before pandemic, there was a lot of people still coming. Pandemic made it kind of take a nosedive, but it actually has kind of come back. So that was one thing, just number of visitors. Looking at some of the infrastructure that was in place, and how far these communities are from the Disney Orlando area. So apparently they've made a deal with the county that says, hey, no short-term rentals within our county or within this radius, which makes sense, right? They want to preserve one of their amazing businesses that attract millions and millions of visitors all year. I think it's millions. That's right. So this is outside of that area. The infrastructure I was talking about was more that there's an additional Universal studio coming up. I think it's called Epic or something like that. There is more transportation infrastructure coming along. So there's something. There's a fast rail that's connecting Tampa Bay to Disney to Fort Lauderdale to Miami. So all of these things were kind of just backdrop for, okay, hey, there seems to be demand. Even during COVID, there was demand. It was more domestic demand rather than international. But it just opened my eyes. So that's one thing both of us are extremely grateful for, just opening our eyes to the potential opportunity. Not just that, but having laid the groundwork for connections on the different people that we could tap into to make this potential investment, potential dream a reality. Just getting back a little bit more to it. So we ended up in the community. We checked out that there are amenities for guests of Airbnb hosts. So there's a tennis court, there's 2 golf courses, there's a lazy river slide thing. They played bingo when I was there. And it wasn't just this one community. So we were presented with a number of different communities of different, price points, different levels, different proximities to Disney. And just as originally intended, was just to take a look at the lay of the land. Now, as we got further into our investigation, it was just we got some slides about potential revenue numbers and what the opportunity looks like. Now, the challenge here, and hey, sorry, Vince, if this was more than what you expected me to talk about.
Go right ahead.
But Kyle said excitement, and I just I can't contain it. The challenge was that we had just come out of the blueprint, where we were focused on long-term rentals, where the playbook was about connecting with wholesalers, connecting with owners, connecting with people, and getting a great deal on a property, and getting it tenanted. And it's a different market in Orlando, right? So I guess part of it was Mr. Analytical is like, you learn this thing, there's a spreadsheet, there's an income statement, but there's an opportunity here. Like, I can sense it, I can feel it. Now, is there turn off, not necessarily turn off that analytical thing, but are we able to pivot and shift gears enough to look at this opportunity? I'm just seeing in the comments there, Mike said the bus tour was a game changer, and I completely agree. Mike is one of the fine people that I met there, just like-minded folks that are interested in, agree for better opportunities.
Well, that's
what
amazing.
can I say that? Oh my God, Colleen's there too. That's great.
Everyone's on the call. That's wonderful.
Okay, so I guess, Julio too. Oh my God, I've been meaning to shout out to you guys. So just looking at the numbers that were presented to us now, because the market was the way it was when I looked at it in February, and the information that I was working off of then, the prices have changed. So there's an opportunity there for capital appreciation as well. So again, not good or bad or whatnot compared to Ohio, Cleveland, Columbus, different areas there. But we saw that there was like the prices were just going up right now. Still not to the levels that I'd seen in Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, but they were going up. In addition to that, so we got all these different things, right? It's a different location. It's a short-term opportunity instead of a long-term opportunity. There is an opportunity for capital appreciation that wasn't necessarily part of the playbook in Cleveland, but how do we still proceed, right? And it looked like the top line numbers were positive. I think the things that we'd seen were gross could be 100K, 120K, 150K, certainly a lot more than we'd seen. But obviously, you're going to spend a lot more, right? So the price of the homes were not in the $100,000 range, but they were 500, 600, 700, 800, right? So that's the big difference. The other part of it was because it's a short-term rental, the whole equation sort of changes. You still have your insurance and maintenance and property management utilities. But on top of that, because it's a short-term rental, you have to turn it around. There's a lot more cleaning, which in Airbnb you can kind of pass that off. But it's just a different beast. So that was where the analysis paralysis might have come into play, that Kyle just referred to, because we're like, top line's there, I'm not sure what the middle expenses are. Now, having seen the opportunity, having talked to a number of wonderful folks that I see on the panels here, Colleen, Mike, Julio, and having a coaching call with Kyle, we kind of just were nudged forward. So thank you, all of you. You know who you are, who helped us out with that. You know what? We don't have the full exact picture. We feel like there's an opportunity here. Kyle was, closing on a deal at the time, so that to me was a pretty good was a pretty good indicator that there's something there, because we all know how much of a hard driver of deals that Kyle is, right? So that there was a pretty good clue there. And when an opportunity came up to get something that was very, very similar in a similar location to one of the homes that we saw during that bus tour, which was the Pirate House. So there was this eight or nine bed, 5 bath, 3,900 square foot, themed, and it was in progress. It was beautiful. And when we came to visit it, there were some pirates, and they gave us drinks. So that's what sold it. Yeah. So we jumped on a property, and this is where Vince and our team, my sister, we started doing some heavy analytics to just figure out what we got ourselves into, like optimistically, but you want to confirm.
So we definitely see the blue coming out. That's wonderful. Thank you, David, for the well, I think we were more than 40,000 foot overview, but thank you for that. Thank you for all that. So much in there. So what can we glean out of this? And for the questions that came in the chat as well, when will the next bus tour be? We actually just set a tentative date for the next bus tour to be mid-May, May 7th or May 14th. And it will be virtual. So a very first virtual bus tour to squeeze one in faster for you guys, because there's so many people asking about it. So just I want to put that out there, that there is going to be an opportunity coming shortly for you to join in as well. But so coming back to Vincent and David. So just to make sure everyone understands, this is a short-term rental property. And that's why there was a mention of why Vincent's kids, David's nieces, are going to get some enjoyment out of the property, because this is a property that's going to be proximity to Disney. It's a beautiful property. We haven't even spoken about the property yet. I hope we will a little bit, give us the specs on the property. But this is a property that will be able to be blocked off for personal use for family and friends, and personal enjoyment on top of the income and cash flow potential for the property. So we got some questions. What theme are you guys going to do? Tell us a little bit about the property, just to get an idea of what what the deal is right now. Did you buy it? Is it under contract? Just give us where you're at right now.
You want me to go, Dave?
Yeah,
right.
I gotta get some water.
All right. So the property was originally listed for $849. And we were able to actually, the market now is a little bit hot, as David said. I think an equivalent property now that we saw pretty much down the street or across the street was selling for close to $999 million. So so as we see it right now, we the listing was put in for $850, and we put in an all cash offer for $830, which was accepted. So we're really fortunate. We've got some investors involved. We've got a chunk of our money involved as well. So we were able to make that all cash deal, and it was a quick turnaround from that standpoint. There were a couple of hiccups here and there, but we worked through them. And I know David was pulling out his hair a little bit over the last couple of days, because we literally closed on Tuesday, and we were working through the wiring, some hassles over the last couple of days over the wiring of some of that money. But so now it's fully closed. It's ours. We're good to go.
Amazing. Congrats. So it is closed. That is amazing. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And so we got the nugget here. This was an all cash offer, and because of that, they were able to get under asking. In this market, we're on this was a on market deal. To get under asking in this market is not easy, and so coming in all cash definitely helps with that. And for those of you who are interested in learning about negotiations and so forth, stay tuned, because next month it's going to be master negotiations. The topic of next month, the month of May, is master negotiations. So even though you may not have the cash to put an all cash offer, there are strategies around putting all cash offers and turning them into a termed offer down the line. So all this is all in the fine tuning of doing this business remotely. But I mean, if you do have the cash, that is a statement, and will allow you to, it should allow you to get better deals even in the hottest of markets. So fantastic, amazing, congratulations. So tell us a little bit about the house.
Dave, you want to take that one?
I thought you were gonna pull up some screenshots and
I could.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
I think pictures say a lot more than.
All right, let me show my screen here.
Go right ahead.
So this is the property. It's a 9-bedroom, 5-bath. So it's a pretty big property. It's already furnished. There's some furniture in there. We probably will be replacing a lot of this, some of this furniture. We want to go with more upper class look. But you can see, it's got the patio or the chairs here, as well as the stove and the fridge. Some rooms are already themed. Let me see if I can get to those, but they are lightly themed. So here's some of the bedrooms. This one's not themed. Here's one of the rooms. This is what we would classify as I don't know what word I want to use for this, but it's themed, but it's just really just stickers on the wall, and we want to really go more.
I think we called this grandma theming at the Epic Tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's another room that's kind of themed, and our realtor, he wasn't too fond of this one either, but it is what it is. I mean, there's a bunch of different rooms, and we're going to be theming a lot of these rooms, just to kind of give you an idea of where we were taking or where we want to get to, or inspiration wise. We're not doing the Avatar theme, but these are kind of things that we've seen in the market of what other homes have done, and we want to get to this level or beyond this level. So these are kind of things that you can kind of see what what other homes have in the area, right? So the theme that we are going with is a Pixar theme, so various Pixar movies and so forth.
Yeah, to tell you a little bit about our process, we got a subscription to AirDNA, and that's this analytics tool for Airbnbs, and I think it takes public information and actually averages out what the nightly rates are for the year and what the occupancy rates are, which is kind of the key metric in a short-term rental compared to what it is for a long-term rental. And so we kind of scoured that area and then looked for similar configured properties, and we kind of wanted to look at what was average, and then what was top notch, what were the top performing ones, and off of this tool. Now this tool, the interface could be a little better. I have to kind of put that in there because it is kind of pricey for the slight pain that you need to go through. But when you get to a property, you click on it and it will pull up the Airbnb listing, and then you can see pictures of that property. And we I have to thank my sister, Vince's wife, for really spending a lot of time looking at reviews and really getting down to the nitty gritty of, hey, what made this place really special? What was a turnoff? What was good and bad? We were putting her Amazon purchasing skills to use. So, if there's somebody in your home who likes to buy stuff on Amazon, this might be their calling. And so we got all these things. We picked at things that were sort of the top performers, and then we said, hey, we would like that, we would like that, we would like that. And through some brainstorming, I've watched a lot of Pixar movies in the past couple of weeks just to do research, just to get some inspiration about what would be cool. And back to the bus tour, it actually just opened my eyes to what is possible. Like if you just told me, oh yeah, you can theme a home, I might have come up with the grandma theme. Like, oh yeah, we'll have some cool Spider-Man bed sheets and we'll be awesome. But what that showed me was these custom-made bunk beds that are fighting each other, and there's a slide down the middle, and it just really expanded all of our team's perception and hopes of what it could be. And so part of our revenue calculation was also that, okay, if this home that is themed with, that has 2 or 3 or 4 themed rooms is getting X amount, right? Where would our home fall, right? Should we target that level, or can we go beyond, or can we go below, right? Because it still needs to make sense financially. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Go ahead, Vince.
And I do want to emphasize that we are not, I'm speak for myself. I'm not recommending people jump into this market and do just make it an Airbnb, buy it and slap it on Airbnb. There is a tremendous amount of short-term rental properties available. We have to stand out. An average property is going to make about 80,000 a year in the number of bedrooms that we're looking at, like 6, 7, 8, 9 bedrooms. They're going to make, I'm going to throw a number, 80,000 a year. But the expenses on these properties are, it's a big mortgage to pay. The taxes are, almost 10,000 a year, except like those eat up on your gross income. So to make the cash flow and to be a top shelf product, well, we have to stand out, which is why we're going for these ultra niche themed properties. So I just want to put that out there. The recommendation is not just to buy any property, slap it on Airbnb. Vincent,
Right.
back to you.
And as we were seeing, as you were talking about that, Kyle, the plain Jane vanilla properties out there, even with our property, 9 bedrooms, we're going maybe for 200, 250 a day, so a night. So for that, you're maybe breaking even. So like Kyle was saying, it makes sense to theme it, because you need to up that nightly rate to $600, $700, $800, whatever that is. And there's going to be high seasons, low seasons, and over Christmas you can probably get $1,000 a night, right? So that's, and we've seen that based on the AirDNA numbers that we're looking at, right? So we purchased property and then we kind of started doing the analysis after that. But fortunately, the analysis afterwards kind of supported, as David was saying, we were looking at, similar type properties that we're aiming for. And we were seeing that, you could get $150,000, $200,000 a year in gross. And then after all expenses, you're probably looking maybe $100,000, $120,000, right? So that's where we were kind of aiming for. Obviously there are a lot of things we need to put in place. Like right now we're working out who's going to be theming it. There's also property management, figuring out, who best to manage that. And, there's a person right there in front of you, Kyle, who has a company. And, I did my due diligence anyways. And I think, Kyle has a great product and a great service that he's been able to offer for the group here. And I think he's got a really, what term would I use? Really compelling product to be able to go with.
Comprehensive and compelling.
Yes.
I actually also want to pile on to that comment about not just getting any old Airbnb for a number of reasons. Like this is actually, okay, a vanilla home here is still a absolutely beautiful home. It's got granite countertops. It's got like basically 4,000 square feet of space. The thing is, if it's only getting $200 a night, the kind of clientele you're going to get are the bargain bin hunters. And you might cram, like, I don't know if it's going to be a frat party or something like that, but the wear and tear on the property for this kind of clientele, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, right? But you actually want to target the higher clientele, and I found this in my own businesses as well. Like if you charge like $100 for a product versus $2,000 for a product, an online product. This is kind of my other business. the amount of support calls that you get for the $100 product is so much relative to the revenue that you're getting. So in this market, I think it's exactly the same. I want the people who can afford $600, $700, $800 a night to give a great experience for their family, because they can afford it, and that to me, as long as I get the occupancy rates, but the kind of clientele, and it's just so much better. So don't try to go cheap on it.
And that applies in every single market. Even if you want to do short-term rentals in Cleveland, don't just be average. You stand out in some way. It won't be a $100,000 theming budget, but like you probably saw on one of the past deal reveals, like just putting a ping pong table and a foosball table and a baby and a air hockey, and theming it sports, and we're getting $200-$300 a night bookings in Cleveland, so stand out, get the higher quality guests, lower headaches, and better investment through and through. Yeah, you'll burn less managers as well that way. Yeah, perfect. I love it. Well, look at that. So thank you so much, gentlemen. What would you say now? Maybe start wrapping it up, unless you had other things you absolutely wanted to say, but what would you say is like the biggest takeaway, the biggest obstacle that was overcome in this process?
Biggest obstacle
that was overcome.
I mean, there were challenges all throughout the way. I mean, I can't we almost lost this deal at the beginning because I didn't sign back quick enough. I mean, and they ragged on me for that, and in the future, I mean, these deals can go pretty quick. I mean, in this market. So I think the learning from that was, if you see a deal, you got to be quick on some of this stuff, put it in under contract somehow, some way, and just get it, tied up for the interim. Right. Yeah. And then you can do, take your time with some of that due diligence if you need to, but, tie up that property and act quick, because there are other people, looking, in those same markets as well,
who are buying cash. Yeah. So be fast. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was my learning. Dave, do you have one, or?
No, I think that's a really good one. I think you need to switch your mentality to, I'm not buying this home for me, and even if you were, actually, you could still act on it and then do it. Like I would say, take the do enough due diligence to recognize the opportunity, but when something's there, you gotta jump on it. So I think that was a great learning. I mean, I think I'm just learning all of the things that that a short-term rental is about, and that's just different from a long-term rental. So I'm actually happy about that learning.
There's a good question here, Dave, that kind of leans your way. Dave's been mainly focused on the finances and stuff, about refinancing. So because we brought in cash, it's a little bit different with short-term rentals because of the cost in Orlando. You're looking at, like $700,000-$800,000. If you can't have all that in cash, how can you refinance, right? So fortunately we were able to. And Dave, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So the plan is absolutely to refinance. The cash offer, it's I mean, we have investors, and it was absolutely because this market was so hot that I didn't, the information I was getting was that people were, there was asking price, and they were getting offers at asking and higher, multiple offers. And I was like, I didn't want to compete in that. And if I had the ability to, somehow distinguish myself or ourselves, then that was kind of the strategy. Now, I am hearing that refinances take longer than if you were to actually do a purchase, but for my, I think we can, hopefully this is correct, but my belief is that we can be patient on it. Like strike while the iron's hot, get the offer in there. I feel like we got it at a reasonable price. right? Not like not like some of the deals I've seen Kyle work on. But I'm like, how do you do that? But I'm happy with it. The numbers will work, and when we refinance, it'll still generate the revenues that we're hoping for. So that's absolutely the plan. Yeah, great question.
Yeah, I think the idea is to at least pull out maybe 70-75% back out so that we can use that money to reinvest into another property and do the same thing. So yeah, there's a question here: does the opportunity like this available in Ohio, like Cleveland? I think it's a little bit different market. I mean, the short-term rental, like the houses there are fairly a lot cheaper. Like you can get a fixer upper for 50 grand or 100 grand, right? And Kyle, I think yours was, a pretty good deal, and you fixed it up. And then, you're able to do short-term rentals in those markets as well. But, you probably don't have to invest into it as much, right? As you would in Orlando.
Definitely. But stand out either way. Stand out. Beautiful. Excellent learnings across the board. Is there anything I wanted to touch on here? Refinance and financing. We are in higher valued properties, so the financing terms are better in terms of the interest rate as well. So that's a nice change. Our financing options as pure foreign nationals, asset-based foreign nationals in Cleveland are like 3% higher than what 2 to 3% higher than what you see in Florida. So that's nice as well. The LTVs are even higher. I'm exploring a new opportunity at 75% LTV for foreign nationals right now, but right now the expectation is 70% LTV. Other than that, congratulations, gentlemen. I'm super looking forward to seeing the next steps and adding your property to the to the pool, Janie's, Harry Potter house and your Pixar house. I think they're going to be beautiful additions to the portfolio. And I'm just so excited to start having you see those $500, $600, $1,000 a night bookings roll in. Because there's already people in the community who are in that level of investments. And for those of you who know Brian Keller, he's in a more top shelf product. He's got a short-term rental. It's been a couple months, and he just got his first I think it was $15,000 for the month on one booking. It wasn't even for the full month, I believe. When you start seeing those type of cash, those types of checks and bookings come in, it makes you put a smile on your face with the short-term rentals. But nonetheless, we have to make sure we have our foundations in place. And to your comment, you were part of the last blueprint that didn't mention short-term rentals at all. Since then, the blueprint does emphasize short-term as well. We have a long-term section and a short-term. So for anybody who hasn't yet done the blueprint and is interested, well, the next one, which is going to be it's going to be end of May, actually. It'll be May 20th. Yeah, May 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's going to be a 3-day instead of a 2-day, because there's just so much information and people are coming out of there with their minds melted a little bit. So we decided to spread it out over 3 days instead. And we are discussing short-term rentals. We are talking about financing, refinancing, the whole 9 yards is all in there for you. So we got your back. We're excited. And anything else you'd want to give out to the community tonight?
There was one more question in there that we missed about copyright, and I guess as it relates to theming. So I don't know what your answer to that, Kyle, is, but we did Dave did a little bit of searching on there and to see, if anyone was sued by Disney or Universal for those themings. And I think maybe we found one property that was sued, but I think I think Disney's and Universal's approaches, they're all trying to drive visitors to that area, right? Mm-hmm. So if they start suing all these homeowners who have themed their places, it's not best interest in their minds, because that's kind of dissuading people from coming as well, right?
Yeah. So yes, so there is that. So first of all, theming doesn't mean you have to do something that is copyrightable. You can make it space theme. You can make it pirates. You don't have to, so you can do a full amazing theme without going to one of the trademarks or patents or that a whole copyright issue. If you do want to go there because people like those products, those brands, know that it, depending on how you do it, it could be a risk. So I'm not saying to do anything illegal, but as Vincent just mentioned, there are a few examples, but it's primarily just to deter people from rubbing it and going too far with it. So I'm not saying to do anything illegal. I'm saying take a look, know exactly where you're going, and it's your choice basically if you want to go in there and see it as an operating a business expense to pay those fees if ever they do slap your wrist. Because it's funny, the example that came in, for those of you who know, what's it called now? Wizard's Way, I think. Now they changed the name. They did get sued, but they were making over 200,000 gross in bookings a year. And so the small, I think it was $40,000 penalty they got, it's just a drop in the water, that drop in the bucket compared to everything that they actually did make. So I'm not saying do that, but it's a consideration as well. But the reason that they really did get, they were been made an example is they went all out on their marketing, and they were blasting it across magazines and on media and so forth. Like, hey, this is this. So it is a consideration. I would say do be careful, do your research on it. Talk to a intellectual property attorney specialist to get a good sense of where you're going, where the line is, and then it's your choice to decide how close to that line you want to play. So that's where I stand with this. Excellent. Perfecto. David, something to say? No.
No, I'm good. I echo those sentiments. Appreciate that. If I was going to go with one learning, it's just that with Florida specifically, opening up a bank account, getting entities, that they're a little more stringent on that, on being there in person and whatnot. So, just kind of learning the ins and outs of the place that you're operating in. But, you got to start somewhere too, right? So you got to take the first steps. So.
And that's another reason I advise people to stay in one market, maximum two, as they get started, because you did some initial due diligence on the market. Now you've got a good sense of what to expect and what's this and what's that. But the next deal is going to be lightning fast. Like when I do my deal reveals, like I know these areas, so I can lightning fast. I know what's happening, and then I can jump in. So now you've gotten to that point. So now it's the time to double down and start looking for the next one.
Already underway.
Amazing. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm looking forward to featuring you again on the deal reveal, maybe midway through the theming or at the end of the theming. We'll get you on and get the updates on your property. But congratulations, you're doing it. You're doing now for tomorrow. In fact, Julio would say tomorrow is now for you. And so you've taken the jump. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Kyle.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Thanks everybody else too. Yeah. Julio, Mike, Colleen. Good
Fantastic.
To see you guys.
So just going to remind you, I'm just going to close out our call for today. Our blueprint is no longer a 2-day, it'll be a 3-day, and it's coming up very shortly, very quickly. If you're interested, you can go to n4tblueprint.com, and this is the preview. So it's going to give you the taste of what it's all about. And if you're interested, you can officially register. So all the details are there. So that was our deal reveal for this evening.
Don't wait for